Well, my experience in the SHU was really awful. I mean, they put you in such compromising positions. I had hair rollers in my locker that I got from another transgender person that came from another institution. And basically, they locked me up for having contraband. Which makes no sense because a girl is always striving to do something to feminize herself. And but what they did was they put me in the SHU and they put us in cells that they know we're going to be taken advantage of. They don't necessarily try to match us up with someone that we could potentially get along with. There's only two things going to happen. Either you're going to get your ass whooped, or you're going to be asked to have sex or forced to have sex. They put us in a lot of dangerous situations.
Hole in the water with time that never ends, hoping that we float. We're holding the water.
And as a result, I was violated in some ways, and I could not make any noise because I was in the SHU and I was involved in a program that I needed to get back to, which would give me early release. And that's a whole nother challenge, is getting in early release programs. Transgender people are not eligible for any early release programs based on the fact that they're housed in what they call sensitive needs. So even if a person is low custody, they're housed in a high custody level, which means that they're not eligible for programs that could potentially put them at early release, a lot of the educational programs, and just a lot of opportunities for them to, instead of to continue to work on their jobs and serve their time only on the weekends. And it's not okay. It's not okay to hold us back as a community or prevent us from accessing the resource that everybody else access. I mean, I had to really advocate for myself. It was a 9-month program and I had to successfully complete that program. So there was no way that I could report any violations or any sexual advances. I had got to the point where I was just so frustrated because one of my cellmates, every morning I woke up, he was fondling my breast, and I went and told the officer. I was just like, you know, in my room, every time I wake up, this guy is, and he said, hold on, stop right there, before you tell me what I think you're gonna tell me. The only place I can house you is in the SHU. And it's the same SHU that you would be placed in if you stab somebody on the compound. The same rules and regulations, 23 hours a day, lock up, shower 3 days out of the week, and sometimes they even miss those days, and you basically go to recreation in what is like a dog kennel. It's a fenced off cage, just like a dog kennel. It's only about like 6 by 6 feet. From the top all the way, I mean, you're completely in this cage and you can only just walk around in circles. So it's just like when he told me that, I just shut my mouth, because if I would have went to SHU opposed to getting out May the 21st of 2012, I wouldn't have gotten out until April of 2014. So it's just like you basically have to weigh your odds, and I know that a lot of this stuff affected me and caused me a lot of trauma and pain and just hurt and sorrow. There were times that I would just cry and cry because I felt so much sadness and hurt and pain and disappointment about the poor treatment that I was experiencing, and not just myself, I mean the transgender community as a whole. It seems to me that transgender people have been so traumatized in custody that they've lost a complete sense of how we're supposed to be treated as human beings. You know, like they feel like any inappropriate treatment to transgender people is okay because it sort of kind of comes with the territory, and we all know that's not true. Nobody should be violated sexually, nobody should be violated physically, nobody should be afraid to walk to the store and have fear of somebody just attacking you solely based on the fact that you're transgender. If people come in on Greyhound, if they fly in, it's just like basically when they correspond with us, we ask them to remind us of their release date, and we do the best that we can to pick them up. And we basically bring them in and show them that they have community and show that they have community support. And we have the transgender women that are not in custody, that have some similar background, that have, you know, created better quality of lives for themselves, really mentor them and support them and walk with them. I kind of feel like our program is like Harriet Tubman. We're doing the best that we can to free the slaves.
Singing, come on up, I got a lifeline, come on up to the strain of mine, come on up, I got a
And one of the biggest things we want to do is we want to be able to provide them with immediate access to medical and mental health. A lot of transgender people don't have family, and they don't really have as strong ties to the community. We have a place that we basically do the best that we can to house our people for at least anywhere between 60 to 90 days, which is out in the avenues, and so that their first introduction wouldn't be in such a high-risk area for relapse or putting themselves at risk for going back to prison. We have our annual retreat, which we do once a year, sometimes twice a year. We get together and do workshops, and we educate people and politicize them and get them involved in participating in rallies and marches and things that affect the community, and also to be visible as transgender community, because a lot of protests and marches happen about various issues, and people never discuss how those issues are going to affect the transgender community, because it's been said many times, and it rings true with me, that when the shit hits the fan, it's almost like basically the transgender community automatically goes to a panic, because we know that we'll be the last population of people to get served. Ideally, I would like to have money for our organization, maybe about $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 that would be designated to TGIJP to provide positions for people that are getting out of custody, so that it would give us an opportunity to really train people and get them involved in being in the workplace, because a lot of our women don't have a lot of work history. So it would be an opportunity for us to sort of kind of like give them a job, and also that would include like working 4 hours today and doing a computer class for the next day, and getting involved in some political education group the next day, so that people can gain work skills, gain a lot of information, and have a better understanding of how society can convince us that we have no value or worth, in which we do, and not to buy into that. So it would sort of kind of be something like that, where we can boost people's self-esteem, because employment is really difficult. But if you have no skills, if you have no experience in working in an office setting, or working in a somewhat like a structured setting, and, you know, supporting people and, you know, making sure that it's important for them to be on time. However, the thing that I like about what we plan to do as a re-entry place is we're not going to penalize people, because a lot of times re-entry programs are connected to probation officers, or, you know, they're basically connected to, if you don't show up X amount of times or something happened, you end up getting back in prison. However, I think that we would develop a program that could be working with people more intensively and really surround them. That's kind of like what we do, is help people get out of custody, stay out of custody. I would like for TGIJP to really like find out exactly where people want to be and what they want to do with their future, and really support them in that, but also not penalize our people for making, you know, mistakes, because the most important thing is we keep our people free.
Woke up this morning with my mind, it was sad.